Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Kenton alleges racism in Saskatchewan. Not shocked, but there's racism everywhere. I've heard the N-word in South Florida. So I don't like that. I mean, it's Kenton's experience, but don't tell me Saskatchewan is any worse than anywhere else. It's everywhere, and it needs to be cleaned up. And number 3, with the Rough Riders refusing to allow Kenton to retire as a Rough Rider, and that they won't put him into the Plaza of Honor, I guess. From the article, he didn't play long enough to qualify. That's all bunk. He should go into the Plaza of Honor. I believe he's the 3rd all-time rushing leader in Saskatchewan history. All the top 5 receiving yards guys are in. So why don't you put Kenton Keith in? It's an unfortunate. My take on it is that it's the way the Rough Riders do business now. They put personal, petty grudges against what's best for the franchise. And they've completely obliterated and ruined the Plaza of Honor. They've ruined it. This regime now, and it's not just one guy, it's a few guys. So I knew Kenton very well. He was popular with some teammates, not popular with others. That's life. He deserves to go in. But because of a grudge being held a couple of decades later now, he's not going to go in. It's sad, but that's Rider fans deserve better, but that's what they get. That's what it is now.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show. Good morning, Rod Squad.
Maybe tomorrow I'll tell you guys about the big game that I went to in San Antonio with Snoop Dogg. Remember that one, Clark? The Lakers and Spurs? Snoop Dogg and I went, Bob.
How about that?
Snoop Dogg was sitting courtside. I was up in the nosebleeds, but we were in the arena at the same time. I was there with him.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the RP Show. Please do not adjust your sets. We've had quite a morning. But a good one. And it's just getting better as we set sail on episode number 850 of your favorite daytime sports and entertainment talk show. We're coming to you from rainy, soaked South Florida with one half of the show, and the other half comes to you from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle, where I saw nothing but yellow and orange, beautiful leaves. It's fall, where Darren Moose DuPont hangs his hat. And Moose, I tell you what, it has been an interesting morning. I don't think we're going to float away. But what do you think of the backgrounds here? I think we've discovered a new backdrop here for the RP show.
I think it looks awesome. You got the lanai out there. You look really sharp and really clear, so the color contrast is spot on. I think it looks good.
Yes, it's just a little, they call these outdoor sun patios lanais in Florida. I call them lines, and nobody gets the joke. But, yeah, I kind of like it here, and let's hope the power stays on all week. And we got a lot of stories to get to today, and fun, as always, coming up in hour one, NHL super pest Matthew Barnaby, who's going to preview the NHL season. He's going to answer a really key question that I'm going to pose later on in my show topics here. And from TSN Ottawa, Claire Hanna is going to join us to preview the Senators season and also talk about the plight of the very struggling CFL Ottawa Redblacks. That's all on the way. Can we hit the quick six show horn, please, guys? Whomever's flying the Millennium Falcon, because, yeah, Jordan is not with us, Director Jordan. He's gone to town. He's not with us. We got Rolf and Tuna flying the ship, and so far, so good. Point number one, we start with the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. Monday Night Football, CeeDee Lamb made a one-handed touchdown catch with 8:30 to play, and the Dallas Cowboys beat the New York Giants 23-16 on Monday Night Football. Zeke scored on a one-yard run to ignite the comeback from a 7-point deficit, while Brett Maher kicked 3 field goals. Cooper Rush threw for 210 yards, including the one-yarder touchdown to Lamb. in winning his second straight, filling in for the injured quarterback Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush is now 3-0 starting in games for the Dallas Cowboys. And, what can I say about that? The Cowboys rolling, they won it on defense, and they look like a real team. My guy, Chris, Chris Sanford I told you about, he's from Albany. Yeah. He's probably watching right now. I texted him this morning because he's a Giants fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. I said, where are we going for? Do I get to pick the location, Chris? I don't know how this works. And he told me, you pick the location, Ron, any PDQ. And that's a chicken place, which stands for pretty damn quick. So PDQ chicken, Chris is buying. How about them Cowboys? The thing that stood out to me besides the Cowboys, and by the way, we have CFL, NHL, WHL, U Sports to get to, so just settle in and enjoy what we're talking about here. As Ken Dorsey, the offensive coordinator of the Bills, came out Monday. Did you see this, Darren? The guy that smashed the camera and his game notes into smithereens at the end of the Bills-Dolphins game, and he apologized for his actions. And Sean McDermott, I didn't know Ken Dorsey even played in the CFL. He backed up Cleo Lemon. Cleo Lemon should have never been starting in the CFL. Shouldn't have been. But whatever. Ken Dorsey is the offensive coordinator, one of the best teams in the NFL. But Sean McDermott came out, and I want your take on this. Forget about the Cowboys. McDermott said of his offensive coordinator, who just went beyond ballistic Sunday. He goes, well, it shows him how much he cares. Shows how much he cares and how he feels about the game. But I suppose as a leader, he should control his emotions better. And he knows that. We've had the talk, on to week 4. How do you feel about Dorsey apologizing for what he did the other night?
It's okay. I think, at the end of the day, it's okay for him to apologize and admit that, he probably shouldn't have went that far over the edge and that he should try and keep things in check. And that's what you want leaders to do. It's the same with coaches. I was told by some really good coaches, we've heard of these snap show coaches that come into the dressing room at halftime or at the end of the period and throw garbage cans around and just go crazy on their players. I've been told you can do that once a season, maybe twice, and then it loses its effect. So for Ken Dorsey to come in here and smash the thing, that is going to actually create some notice. Everybody's going to wake up in the locker room and be like, okay, holy smokes, we better be better, But if he's doing that week after week after week after week, he can't do that. So he can't be doing that every week moving forward.
Obviously happy that the Cowboys won, but that's what stuck with me from week 3 in the NFL. By the way, our poll question has to do with the NFL before we move on to other things. The poll for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center. Capital has dealerships all across the Canadian prairies and the state of California. Which NFL team is in the most trouble through 3 weeks? The 0-3 Las Vegas Raiders, the 0-2-1 Houston Texans, or the 1-2 Los Angeles Chargers, or other? And I voted actually for other, because I think the Seattle Seahawks are in the most trouble. The Raiders, though, at 0-3, I saw this stat the other day. I was reading the game notes. Only 4 teams since 1992 have started a season 0-3 and gone on to make the playoffs. And they're in the toughest division in the NFL, so the Raiders are done. So watch for some interesting things to go down there. First, a word from our sponsor, Edo Japan. From hand-rolled sushi to bento box meals, made their famous teriyaki sauce, Edo Japan's menu has something for everyone. To baseball, Vladdy smashed a walk-off single to left field in the 10th inning to score Kevin Biggio for the deciding run in a thrilling 3-2 win against the New York Yankees Monday night. The Blue Jays won their 3rd in a row, snapped the Yankees' 7-game win streak, and Aaron Judge never hit home run number 61. Bryce Elder, as we talk about the Atlanta Braves, threw a 6-hit shutout for his first career complete game, and the Braves beat Washington 8-0 on Monday to come within 1 game of the first-place New York Mets in the NL East. I'm telling you, us being on the radio in Atlanta has opened up big doors. Big doors. 6 million people there in Atlanta, and they're listening, and I'm getting mail. It's really cool. So hello to everybody listening on WQEE right now, 99.1 FM, your home for Southern sports and talk. Now, you can also help out one of our sponsors, Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. If you have issues with plumbing, heating, and cooling, check them out, Bronco. Find everything you need to know about our services, financing, product information, and more at broncoplumbing.com. We've got CFL to get to, but my third point is the NHL. It's why a lot of people have come here today. Right, Allie? She's watching in Texarkana, Texas. Before I get to what happened last night in the NHL, here's my question. Who's the best team in the NHL? Who's the best team? Reason I say that, every network in America, every one, is talking all day, every day, and fighting over who's the best team in the NFL. The power rankings are coming out from Sports Illustrated and ESPN and Associated Press and here and there, and they all have a different team at number one. The NHL hasn't even dropped the puck yet on the regular season, and I want to know who the best team is because people are going to automatically say Colorado. I know they're the betting favorite. I know they were number one at NHL.com's power rankings, and I haven't done my top five, bottom five yet. But I'm not so sure it's the Colorado Avalanche. Yes, they've made Nathan McKinnon the highest paid player in the National Hockey League. He deserves it. And yes, they have Cale Makar. They did lose their goalie, who I understand, and I know, wasn't even a Vezina finalist. But they lost Nazem Kadri, as we all know, in free agency. The kind of guy that you win with. Toronto wouldn't know about that. I think it's the Calgary Flames. Changed my mind.
Whoa. Yeah, that is a bomb, but they've improved. That's a group that's improved. I've got, on the Eastern side, I've got Carolina as the team I think is going to make it to the Stanley Cup. They've added as well. You look at the pieces that they brought in, they haven't really lost much. They continue to get better. Brent Burns, I know he's probably towards the end of his career, closer to the end than the beginning. But he adds another piece. They're loaded up to try and take a run here. I think Carolina, if they can get good goaltending from Freddie Anderson, Carolina could be a team for me.
Write that down, guys. Moose says Carolina. I say Calgary. And if I didn't mean it, I wouldn't say it. I think the Calgary Flames are the best team in the NHL right now. It's easy to say. They haven't played a game yet. By the way, one of those guys that I was with on the weekend who's now watching, he loves the show. One of those big money guys. He's originally from Toronto. How the heck did it came up? Something along the line of winning the Stanley Cup. Or he's like, I'm a Leaf fan, so I'll never experience that. It was so hilarious. And I'm sorry, but I have to say, interesting that you wouldn't say the Leafs. But Mike Richards put it very well yesterday when he said, you're supposed to be a Stanley Cup contending team, and you don't even know who your goalie's going to be in week one or game one. Just think about that for a second. And by the way, so you say Carolina, and you might be right. Did you forget they got Max Pacioretty, who shaves before every game? Just throwing that out. And I'm going to see Carolina here on Thursday night. They're coming in to play the Florida Panthers, God willing and weather permitting. But the thing with the preseason, everybody's going nuts about the preseason, and I get it, but it doesn't mean anything. You guys understand that, right? Players, especially the vets, aren't really trying. You're not seeing the actual line combos. And a couple things that I want to say about that, and I'll get to what happened last night, because there are people writing in about last night's NHL games. It reminds me of sitting there covering Saskatchewan Roughriders training camp for years and years and years, and I would be just scribbling down all the notes, and the team didn't like me doing that, but the fans did. You knew that. You were one of them, right, reading my coverage and listening to it. And I'm like, here's the order of who came out to run the offense. Darian Durant, then Tito Sunseri, then Drew Willie, and then this guy and that guy and that guy. It didn't matter. It might as well have been in alphabetical order. But the fans, they want to know who's playing with who. It doesn't matter. And furthermore, I appreciate everybody writing me saying, how you doing with the weather? Are you going to float away? Are you going to lose power? Those are all legitimate concerns. But as I said to our guy Paul, the infamous Paul, one of the three amigos, he asked if I was okay and we needed to move the show out of here because we're going to lose power this week. I said, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers came here, okay, to practice for the week. And for Tom Brady, it's a home week because he's got a house here. And don't make me go down that road that I said to you and Lee this morning in our morning call, but they were talking about this on Sports Talk Radio. They're like, Tom just built a $30 million house in Indian Creek. $30 million he spent for him and Giselle and his family, and now they've split. So anyways, the big money guys and some of the guys that I've been with, they're like, come on down, Tommy. Come on down, Tommy. Come home, Tommy. They'll see this as some way. This will be the road to getting Tom Brady be the quarterback for the Dolphins. Right? It's like, Tommy, just put on this teal jersey. Anyways, back to the NHL. The Seattle Kraken scored 2 goals in the second period to break open a scoreless game and defeated the visiting Edmonton Oilers 3-0 in NHL preseason play Monday in Seattle. Matty Beniers, Ryan Donato, and Morgan Geekie scored for the Kraken. Meanwhile, in Montreal, Graham Clark's goal at 14:03 the third stood as the winner as the New Jersey Devils slipped past the Canadiens 2-1. Thomas Tatar knots the other Devils' goal. Cole Caulfield scored for Montreal. Yuri Slafkovsky got the biggest ovation, I understand, in the Bell Center last night. He was playing with Kirby Dach on a line. Listen, don't you go winning, Montreal. Don't start thinking you're going to be good, because you're going to be in the Bedard sweepstakes. It's like the Falcons winning in Seattle on the weekend. What are you doing? Whoa! No. Don't try. In other games, there was a doubleheader in Nashville. Florida beat the Preds 4-3 in overtime. Alexander Barkov, the Capitan, scored the winner. And then in the second game, Nashville blanked Florida 4-0. Matthew Tkachuk played in one game, was held pointless, and had one shot on goal. Barkov played in the other game, and I would think they're going to play together. This is my point on NHL preseason. Don't read anything into this. The Rangers beat the Islanders 4-1. The Blues beat Dallas 4-0. And now listen to me talk. The LA Kings beat Vegas 2-1 in overtime. Adrian Kempe scored the winner for the Kings. And I'm sitting there going through the score app. Who started in goal? Who's in goal for the Golden Knights? Logan Thompson and Aiden Hill split the net minding chores for Vegas, so they lost. Where are you on NHL preseason results?
8 games is far too many in the NHL preseason. I mean, they make it 4, and let's get going. And have enough inter-squad games. But I like seeing where they're at and getting guys ready to go. It makes me excited because the season's really here. But as you're even reading those, I mean, my mind's going other places. I'm not even interested in this. The scores don't matter, right? Like, I couldn't tell you who won these games except the last one. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Hey, folks, you do you as fans. You follow it as much as you want. But don't think that it matters, because it doesn't. And can somebody tell me if there's a rule, an NHL rule, a mandate on how many vets need to play in a game in terms of entertainment factor and selling tickets? I could sit here. We got to move on, because I know fans want to get to the CFL stuff. But I just remember NHL games that came through the Queen City where you're at, and they had to have a certain amount of vets dressed just to sell tickets from a marketing aspect. But I don't know if that's just for neutral site games or if that's for regular games like in Nashville, in Florida, in Calgary, in Vancouver. Hey, a word from our sponsor. What's on at the movies this week with Landmark Cinemas? Get out and catch Spider-Man No Way Home. For the first time in the cinematic history of Spider-Man, our friendly neighborhood hero's unmasked and no longer able to separate his normal life from the high stakes of being a superhero. When he asks for help from Doctor Strange, the stakes become even more dangerous, forcing him to discover what it truly means to be Spider-Man. In theaters now at Landmark Cinemas. Text movies right now, 902-518-3033 to be entered in a draw to randomly win tickets and concession treats to Landmark Cinemas. Winners picked every week to go to the movies. When we come back, CFL, a lot of notes on the CFL. I want to talk some junior hockey because people love that. And then whatever the viewers want, Matthew Barnaby and Claire Hanna coming up. It is the RP Show on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube Live, and on the radio, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right. And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
I gotta hit the beat.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
It's the RP Show, and away we roll. Episode number 850 of your favorite daytime sports and entertainment talk show. Coming to you from the Deep South, and the NHL's Bermuda Triangle is the other. And let's bring in the Moose right now. Darren, I want your take on this. Breaking news on this Tuesday. That's why this is not a boring show, I can tell you that. So I just saw this. It actually was sent to me. I appreciate it. From one of our listeners and viewers in the Deep South, but that is the Deep South of Saskatchewan. And I think all viewers will be interested in this. This from the CBC. A senior hockey team in southern Saskatchewan says it will change its team logo, which features a Confederate flag, as soon as it can afford to. The Assiniboia Rebels Senior Hockey Club's current logo features the silhouette of a bugler with a Confederate flag waving in the background above him. The team said in a statement, quote, "We are aware of the complaint and the concerns brought forward. As a group, we have already started discussions, and we will be phasing our logo out as soon as we are financially able to do so." You can find it on cbc.ca. I mention it because I'm going into Assiniboia in just a couple of weeks' time to broadcast a game for the Southern Rebels hockey team on Cat Country 98 Radio. It's one of the many radio stations that I work with. And from what I could see in that brand new rink, that logo was painted into the ice. So somebody has brought up this being offensive. Quick Google search. In 1860 and 1861, 11 southern states separated from the USA to protect the institution of slavery, forming the Confederate States of America and sparking the U.S. Civil War. After the war, their flag was adopted as a symbol of Southern heritage at the same time as it represented slavery and white supremacy. So quite frankly, I'm not going to sit here and stick up for the Southern Rebels. I'm not surprised that this came up. I just feel bad for the team that they don't have a lot of money to change jerseys. Like, you got to come up with it now. You couldn't come up with it this summertime. We could have had a fundraiser. And I'm not being facetious. Jersey sets are expensive. You got a logo now on the ice. Timing couldn't be worse. But what do you think about that news that came out today?
Yeah, I get the history of things, and this has been your team for a long time, and the team name, and all that's really important. But at the same time, I can't defend the logo. Time to change it. But I'm with you. Like, it is more than just snapping your fingers and changing it. You can't just grab new jerseys, especially for a senior hockey team that doesn't have a lot of money kicking around. Jerseys are expensive. The logo's expensive. So they're doing the right thing, and we just got to have a little patience with them to be able to raise the money to do it right.
They're trying to do the right thing. So not surprised the complaint came up. Not surprised Assiniboia would do the right thing. From a viewer on YouTube, Eric Thomas says, hashtag the RP show is never boring. Hashtag facts. I know that, right? And that's what makes it so dang fun. There's breaking news from the CFL. The Calgary Stampeders have signed quarterback Jake Mayer to a contract extension. That just came across my phone as a notification, the UC Davis product. We'll get into that in a second because that's not in my quick six. That's news that came down this morning. It just further means the days of Bo Levi Mitchell are done in Calgary. And I'm still somewhat trying to get my head around that, having spent all that time in Calgary in the spring, winter and spring going into the season, and then now this. I'll be back in Calgary in a couple of weeks, and we'll dig into this a little more. And if we can't get our head around it, how do you think Bo feels? Right? So anyways, point 4, as we get back on track, the Saskatchewan Roughriders suspended American quarterback Jake Dolegala for one game Monday after he was arrested and charged with impaired driving. The 6'7", 242-pound Dolegala is in his first season with Saskatchewan. He has appeared in 2 games. He started Sask's 31-21 home loss to Toronto on July 24th. So I've seen the back and forth. People defending him, people admonishing him and torching him. What have I said? If Charles Manson wore green and white, there would be Rider fans defending Charles Manson. Like that, it doesn't surprise me. People would stick up for him. Now, if I was in that position, and thank God I never was. I never got a driving while impaired. I thought a lizard was attacking me. It's just my earphone cord on my ankle.
Oh, no.
That's just the grace of God. Because I deserve one. So I'm not going to come down on Jake Dolegala for that. Having said that, it's very serious. That's a life-changing, life-altering mess that he finds himself in. And it is a mess for him. But for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, the guy wasn't even on the roster anyways. He gets suspended 1 game. Fun to talk about, but on to Winnipeg. Basically, if you're the Roughriders, what do you think?
Yeah, and, I'll give the Roughriders credit here, Rod, because we heard this news from the team, right? At least I did. And it's refreshing when a team can get out in front of this and actually do the right thing and get the news out quickly. So perhaps they're learning from past mistakes. If you try and hide things and cover them up and, pretend it didn't happen, it's going to catch up with you. So at least they got out in front of it and released it themselves. But in the grand scheme of things, it's going to blow over. I mean, it's a horrible thing to do. You're just happy that he got caught and nobody was hurt, and there was nothing else other than, the legal mess that he's in and the suspension he's going to serve to the team. And you hope he learns his lesson and doesn't do it again.
God knows they've had enough practice at handling disasters. What happened? Oh. He sounded fine. They said the video froze of Moose. Well, we could still hear him. But thank you guys for being on top of that. I'll pause for 1 second. From South Florida viewers yesterday that are CFL fans, They were texting me after the show yesterday saying they didn't necessarily disagrey with my stance on the Grey Cup halftime host. They agree with the concept or the idea that it needs to be a huge name and it needs to be all across the news. And I'm very respectfully repeating what they said. They said when Rihanna was announced on Sunday as the halftime act for the Super Bowl, it was on all the major news outlets. Forget about just the sports networks. It was on the news outlets. Okay. Again, I feel the Grey Cup needs to have a Canadian halftime act. It's a hill that I was at one time willing to die on, but I don't really care anymore. I don't have the fight left in me. Do whatever the hell you want to do. But I think the fact that, was it the last Super Bowl, had a Canadian act perform The Weeknd is the ultimate irony to me. We can't have a Canadian act because we need to be big time. Well, the NFL had The Weeknd. He's from Toronto. No! Moving on, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers can secure a home CFL playoff game this weekend. Winnipeg can clinch a playoff contest at IG Field with a home win Friday night over the Saskatchewan Roughriders. The Bombers would also earn a home postseason game if the Calgary Stampeders lose at McMahon Stadium on Saturday to the Argos. Stick with me on this. This is nobody's fault. This is just the usual year-end mathematics and permutations and combinations that have to do with the CFL playoff race. Happens every year. Should Saskatchewan lose this week and Calgary win this week, the Roughriders would only be able to qualify for the CFL playoffs via crossover. And I'll get to this week's games in a second, just so you know. Should the Riders win, and again, they're playing Winnipeg, and Edmonton loses at home Saturday night to the Alouettes, the Elks will be eliminated from playoff contention. So that would clinch for Saskatchewan. The Elks will be eliminated. Yeah, they have lost a CFL record-tying 14 straight home games. What's up with Moose, guys? Is he coming back? Is he not coming back? Yeah. Okay. And these guys were worried about me. He's sitting there in the sweatpants capital having internet issues, and I'm sitting here in South Florida where y'all thought I was going to float away. Smiling like a butcher's dog. I did want to put this to Moose, but I'll put it to the viewers. That's the beautiful thing about what we do here every day, the most interactive show on the planet. Cody Fajardo, at some point, the Saskatchewan quarterback, came out and said this. And was it after the practice yesterday or was it after the last game? Because they're coming off a bye week. He said, I know this, if we make the playoffs, there will be teams that'll be afraid of us or don't want to play us or something to that ilk. Would you be scared of the Saskatchewan Roughriders right now if you were another CFL team? I'll get to the fan and viewer comments in a moment. From Nelson Hackowich, our VP of Sim Events, he said, how much of a punishment is it to suspend a guy who is your third quarterback who is going to be a healthy scratch anyway? What I would say to that, and God knows my job doesn't depend on defending the Roughriders anymore, but what else are they supposed to do? I guess release him. You could do that, but they don't want to. I think they think very highly of the guy. People have DUIs all the time. So it's a learning moment. Should he lose his job for getting a DUI? Is it necessary to drive to be a quarterback of the Saskatchewan Roughriders? I don't think so. So unless you're a trucker or a cab driver or an Uber Eats driver, why should that affect his job? Just my take. Man, have we covered a lot of ground. And I wanted this. Has Barney logged in yet? Okay. Matthew Barnaby is coming up next segment. I'm a huge fan of his, and I always have been. But I'll come back on the CFL thing. You tell me which teams in the CFL should be afraid of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Anybody, you should be afraid of the Ottawa Redblacks right now. You should be afraid of the Edmonton Elks. Look what happened to Sask. So, yeah, teams are going to be afraid of them, but they They're the wounded bear right now. They're unpredictable. Obviously, that would be the only reason that you should be afraid of them. They've lost 7 of their last 9 games. They're the worst team in the CFL statistically since Week 14. Why would you be afraid of them? This is the question I have. Junior hockey coverage, 0.6. The viewers have said, you talk all the NFL you want and all the college football you want, but you better not stop talking junior hockey. Don't worry, I won't. And also, I'll talk about what I want to talk about. Let's bring the Moose in. We have a couple minutes here. The question is, who will rep their leagues at the Memorial Cup? And incidentally, there's no Western Hockey League games tonight. None. They'll get going Wednesday. But I'm hearing from the Seattle guys. They got a lot of friends that are with the Thunderbirds. A few friends in Kamloops they're hosting. But consider this. If Kamloops wins the West and they're hosting the Memorial Cup, the Eastern Conference rep goes to the Memmer. Yeah. Is that maybe why the Pats don't want to trade Connor Bedard? And can we hear from the Eastern Canadian viewers, please? Who's coming out of the Q? Who's coming out of the O? Quite frankly, I have no idea who's coming out of those other leagues. But do you? Are you following it at all?
Yeah, I know the Quebec Rempart is supposed to be really good this year out of the Q. So I think they were ranked fairly high in the CHL top 10. I think the team in Guelph is supposed to be really good too. So there's some good teams coming out of the East and the eastern part of Canada. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in the Western Hockey League, because you're right. Like if the Regina Pats all of a sudden start playing well and add some pieces, they might want to take a little bit of a run at it. That's the one thing, Seattle's good. Obviously Kamloops is good, but only one of those teams, right, is likely going to make it unless for some reason Kamloops doesn't make it into the Western Hockey League Championship. So it's going to be fun to watch for sure.
Guys, you tell me the second Barney logs in. The Quebec Rempart are his old team. So I want to know what Patrick Roy, which Roy, by the way, is French for king, because I think he is the king. What is he doing right over there? And should we expect the Quebec Rempart to be in the Memmer? And who's coming out of the O?
Here. Winnipeg's number 1, Quebec's number 2, Seattle's number 3 in your CHL top.
Oh, there you go. Yeehaw!
How about that?
And Guelph is 4.
Okay. So we got a lot to get to with Matthew Barnaby next. Big news from the Calgary Stampeders today. Big news with the Rebels today. Moose, I'll see you in an hour or two, okay?
Later.
By the way, TSN Ottawa's Claire Hanna coming up, too, from the nation's capital to preview Sens and Redblacks. But Matthew Barnaby joins us next. It's the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and now on your home of Southern Sports and Talk, 99.1 FM WQEE.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersenshop.com.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love. Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
RP show continues from beautiful South Florida, and I have so much to get to with our next guest. We're going to jump right into it. Matthew Barnaby played 834 NHL games with Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Tampa, the Rangers, Colorado, and Dallas. He's an Ottawa guy. He's, I believe, in Ottawa now. We got a lot to get to with him, Marty. Let's bring him on. And if I can, I got a lot to start, got a lot to get to. I'm all excited, Barney. My question number one to you is...
How are you? First of all, very impressed with Rouen. I like the French coming out of you.
Well, I came out of high school bilingual, and now I only get it. I know enough to get around the strip clubs in Montreal. That's all. If you don't use it, you lose it. But I know enough. But are you not? I thought you played with the Rempart, but it says Beauport Harfang. Did that used to be? Did they move?
Yeah, I played with Beauport. We were actually an expansion team when I went there in the late 80s. And when I left a few years later, they actually folded and became, again, the Quebec Ramparts, which now play at the Videotron Center. So we had a small little arena, 2,300 fans. It was absolutely insane. But they're a little better off where they're playing now in front of about 15,000 fans.
No kidding. So let me revisit the junior thing in a moment, if you don't mind. My question to you is, who is the best team in the NHL as we get ready to open the new regular season? I'm not convinced it's the Colorado Avalanche right now.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to go with Colorado just because they're defending champs. And we saw with what Tampa Bay did 3 years in a row, going and winning twice and going to a third. So I'm going to stay with Colorado. But, you know, there's a lot of great teams out there. And you look at, you know, teams that have added, and I can go to the Florida Panthers, where you are in South Florida. The additions that they've made, if they can get goaltending, there's no reason they can't make a run. I think Tampa, we're going to start to see go the other way. I think we're going to see Florida hopefully have more than just a great regular season. But I like Florida. There's a lot of great teams in this league. But for me, Colorado, defending Stanley Cup champions, and they have a lot of those same guys back. You just take away a guy like Nazem Kadri that had such a great playoff run for them. He's not there anymore. That's going to be a big loss for them.
I've said Calgary, it's fun to talk about. Their two best players are gone. Turns out they didn't want to be there, so you've replaced them with two guys that do, and you got an upgrade in Mackenzie Weegar. So I think it's the Calgary Flames. I know that's not a popular thing, but that's just me saying that. By the way, did I see you've rented accommodations down here in Florida for 2 months this winter, Barney? Are we going to get together and go to some games or what?
I'd love to. Yes, my son's playing with the Orlando Solar Bears, who's actually going to be coached by Matt Partner, a former NHLer, played some time, tough guy in Ottawa. So, yeah, I'm excited. Won't be down there for a while. Got a lot of things going on up in Canada and Western New York and New York State in general, and throughout Quebec, as we talk about junior. But yes, in the new year, I will be in Florida lots.
Okay, outstanding. Well, we talked about retiring in Arizona and going to games there. I like this more. So you've been to all these places.
It's a lot cheaper as well.
Yes, it is. Don't tell anybody. That's why everybody's moving here. That's all good. The other thing is the Sabres, man. What's going on? Like, they've had their ups and downs. I don't need to tell you. Are they going to take a jump this year?
It's been over a decade. I like where the organization's finally going. I like a lot of the moves that Kevin Adams has done in his little short tenure, and he just got an extension to go forward. So, they have a lot of, like any team that's missed the playoffs for 11 years in a row, and especially in the last 5, you're going to have a great prospect pool. You're always drafting in the top 5 or 6 in the draft. So, yes, their prospect pool is great. Can they take that next step? Can Tage Thompson be that guy? They just signed him to a $50 million deal. So, I expect a lot out of them, a lot more out of them, a lot more consistency. And they took a step forward last year. This was a much, much better team than the last 3 years, even that we've seen. Look for Owen Power to make a difference. Look for Darlene to take that step forward and be even more of a leader. But, this is still a young team. Are they a playoff team? No. But will they challenge a little bit more on a nightly basis? Absolutely. They are taking steps in the right direction, and it's nice to see because obviously playing 7 years there and living there for a quarter century, I like to see Buffalo do well.
Well, let me ask you this. What was it last year? All 8 teams in the Eastern Conference were 100 points or more. First time ever. Like, does one of them step back this year? Do we see a new team in the playoffs? I mean, that's saying something, man.
Yeah, everyone always says, and you always try to go from the bottom to, challenging for a playoff spot. Teams that are just out of a playoff spot, taking that jump into the playoffs. And you can look at Buffalo, you can look at Montreal, how bad a year they had, and the additions, through the draft that makes them a little bit better. But you're still a young team. If I had one team in the Eastern Conference, and I'm very close to this situation, I actually got to play golf with Pierre Dorion the other day, so spent 5.5 hours on the golf course. Very good golfer, by the way. Very surprising. Didn't think he'd be athletic whatsoever, but he was very good. And just seeing the camaraderie between Pierre, DJ Smith, the Stutzlas, the Norrises, the Kachucks. I'm very intrigued to see what this team does this year because they took a step forward last year, but this is a better hockey team. And I like the addition of a Claude Giroux just in that dressing room. That back end, you add a guy like Sanderson to the back end. Yes, he's young, but he can skate. I think this team will really challenge for a playoff spot. Do they make it? Not sure. I think they're right on the precipice of making it. But this team, I believe, wins the Stanley Cup before the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's how good I think they're built for the future. Goaltending is the one thing we'll have to wait and see with a team like Ottawa.
Hot take.
Isn't that interesting? Well, I'm all for it. I'm all for the Canadian teams, as are you. So I said, I think you saw us talking earlier in the break, what teams will be going to the Memorial Cup out of Eastern Canada? You're in Ottawa. So do you have a guess? Like, who's strong in the O and the Q?
You know what? I haven't paid attention much to the Q, and it's still a little early. I've talked to my buddy Jay McKee, who had an absolute powerhouse in Hamilton, who was very close to winning the M Cup last year. Obviously, when you go to the M Cup, for those people out there, you aren't strong for the next couple of years. So they're hoping to get some guys back, but they won't have the same powerhouse that they did last year with the likes of Mason McTavish going on to the NHL and losing probably 7 or 8 of those players. Ottawa still, I wouldn't say in a rebuild. They were very young last year, will be better this year, and their year probably be for a year like next year with Cameron getting a year more experience. So we're going to have to watch and see how it plays out. Kitchener will be better. Sioux will be better. And we'll have to wait and see how the first couple months go and who believe they truly are contenders and who trade for the big guns. Because we know, 3 to 4 teams believe that they have a chance come January, come February. And that's where those teams start to load up. But before the break, we had talked about the Ramparts in Quebec. They're supposed to have a really good hockey team this year, off to a 2-2 start, but look for them to make some noise in that division.
Dang, this goes by so fast. We got 30 seconds. Tell us what's new with you.
Just this, a book coming out in November, something that took about a year to do. Very proud of it. It was a lot of fun. And then Bet99, that's my daily thing. Love to bet, love NFL. And now we have NHL coming back. It's the best 8 months of the year coming up. And of course, listening to you in South Florida every day, buddy.
Sounds good, Barney. Thank you. My best to your lovely gal. They grow the best ones in Saskatchewan, as you know. Keep in touch.
Cheers. Cam Sack. That's it.
Cam Sack, exactly. The home of Darcy Hordichuk. All right, we'll be back. We'll be back with a viewer takeover and a sports update right after this. It's the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, your favorite podcast platform, and your home of Southern Sports and Talk, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina. And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
It's what we call viewer takeover. We're going to open with that, and I'm going to get to a sports update here too, but this is exactly what I want. This warms my heart. We talk hockey with Barney. We got a viewer here from Heidelberg, Ontario, watching on Game Plus TV. Chris writes in from Heidelberg, Ontario. He says, I saw Kitchener, Mississauga play on Sunday. Players missing from both teams for NHL camps, but the Steelheads could be dangerous. Luke Misa, he's an 05, looked really good at center, and Ryerson Leenders, an 06, rookie goalie trying to make the team, played amazing, in my limited opinion. Thank you for this scouting report from Heidelberg, Ontario. Dan McCabe from the Queen City says, morning, guys. What happened to Braves pitcher Mike Sorotka, Calgary product? I know he had a good rookie year, tore his Achilles in his second year, retoured in rehab. I heard he was pitching in the minors a few weeks ago. Thought he would be up pitching for the Braves by now. Well, I know he's not. Where he is, I don't know. We can only focus. Oh, Clark says he's got hurt again. Thank you, Clark. Now to the sports update. A duo from Manitoba pushed their stock up the board over the weekend, helping the Bisons shine on both the offensive and defensive sides of the field. I'm talking Canadian University football. Running back Braden Stubbs and linebacker Dolan Hills have been named the offensive and defensive players of the week. Respectfully, in Canada West, Saskatchewan's David Soley takes home the special teams player of the week for the second straight time after another stellar performance for the Huskies. The Western Hockey League announced that Portland Winterhawks forward Gabe Klassen has been named WHL Player of the Week. The 19-year-old veteran from PA, can't spell party without PA, recorded 6 goals in 2 outings this past weekend as the Winterhawks claimed back-to-back road victories over the Kamloops Blazers and Kelowna Rockets. Meanwhile, goalie Austin Elliott of the Saskatoon Blades has been named WHL Goalie of the Week. The 18-year-old went 1-0 with a 0.92 goals against average and a .960 save percentage as the Blades secured 2 wins over the rival Prince Albert Raiders. Monday night's opener in the New York Yankees Blue Jays 3-game series in Toronto had a playoff vibe to it, with the Aaron Judge home run history bid adding to the excitement. The Jays won 3-2 in 10 innings to snap the Yankees' 7-game win streak, but it'll be a case of rinse and repeat tonight. Jose Barrios starts for the Jays, who will again try to prevent Aaron Judge from hitting home run number 61. The Edmonton Oilers came up empty in Seattle Monday night, losing an NHL preseason game to the Kraken 3-0. Matty Beniers, Ryan Donato, and Morgan Geekie scored for the host Kraken. Martin Jones and Joey Decord shared the shutout. Meanwhile, in Montreal, Graham Clark's goal at 14:03 of the third stood as the winner as the New Jersey Devils slipped past the Canadiens 2-1. The BC Lions, who last minute of play in hour 1, last minute. The BC Lions, who struggled in Saturday's 25-11 loss to the Calgary Stampeders, have lost one of their biggest offensive weapons. The CFL team confirmed Monday that veteran receiver Brian Burnham suffered a fractured wrist in Saturday's setback and will be placed on the 6-game injured list. The Lions are hopeful that the Tulsa product will return in time for the playoffs. This sports update for Edo, Japan. From hand-rolled sushi to bento box meals made with their famous teriyaki sauce, Edo, Japan's menu has something for everyone. Next hour, Claire Hanna from TSN Ottawa to talk some Redblacks, some Senators, after they've all been buttered up by Barney. And we'll get to some viewer comments here. The Moose will rejoin us. Stick around, everybody. It's the RP Show on your favorite broadcast platform.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casino dancing.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Good morning, Rod Squad.
Maybe tomorrow I'll tell you guys about the big game that I went to in San Antonio with Snoop Dogg. Remember that one, Clark? The Lakers and Spurs? Snoop Dogg and I went, Bob.
How about that?
Snoop Dogg was sitting courtside. I was up in the nosebleeds, but we were in the arena at the same time. I was there with him.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hour 2 of the RP Show. That reminds me of a year ago when I went to that Dolphins game with Dan Marino. It was so much fun. Yeah, we're coming at you on Game Plus TV, WQEE Radio in Atlanta. We have questions coming in about Braves pitchers. I can't answer those. I can't answer them. I'm just going to tell you if I'm not qualified. Let's bring in the Moose now, Darren Moose Dupont. And I saw over the last 20 minutes, Moose, that you were sharing Instagram reels and liking stories. So I assume you had some time to watch near the end of Hour 1 where we had viewers from Ontario writing in about the OHL games. It's exactly, Darren, not only what I want, but what you want and what our entire crew has wanted is audience participation. I want them all to feel part of the discussion. I just don't want them to be idiots. And they're not. Today, they're not. It's just been a fantastic day.
Yes, that's so much to ask for, right? I mean, just to show up, be smart, intelligent, and not be an idiot, and contribute to the conversation. But you know what? It's great because I love that. we're so, heavily involved in Western Canada, and we've been here for so long. But to be able to get in and dive in a little bit to the OHL and the Q and what's going on out east, that's a whole new world for us, which I think is really exciting. So I want those junior hockey fans from Eastern Canada to light up the comments. I think that's awesome.
And the CFL fans and everything else, which reminds me, before we move into other things that I want to talk about here, one of those guys that I spent the weekend with here in South Florida at the Dolphins game and on the boat, he texted me this morning. Well, he's helping us out. By tomorrow is going to be a big treat. Aronde Gadsden's going to join us. Top 10 Dolphins all-time receiver. Aronde Gadsden. He is currently on the Dolphins pre- and post-game show, but he caught Dan Marino's last touchdown pass. Aronde Gadsden's going to be on the show tomorrow. And that guy, who will remain nameless, said to me, he goes, I know you've had a rough go. For whatever reason, he said, there's a reason you're here in South Florida, so glad to have you. And I'm like, I love it. Thank you so much. So Aronde is going to be on tomorrow with more NHL people, too. This is interesting. Allie in Texarkana. She writes in, she says, so by your logic, Rod, I've been to a Stars game with Marty Turco. I like it.
I like it.
Yeah, he was in net and I was in the nosebleeds, but we were at the same game. Oh, it's starting to really pour, if you notice. We have this new background. I really like it. I think this might be where I stay. It's a ways away from the rain and the wind, and it's safer, and it's a little background, and now I don't have to obsess about my non-painted fence, and for that matter, neither do the viewers. I want to say this to Allie and to our viewers that don't know. I think you heard this story, but Darren mentioned, we're from Saskatchewan. It really is the hockey heartland. It's also the heartland of the CFL. But my dad worked 26 years in the National Hockey League for the Dallas Stars and the Minnesota North Stars. So get this one. He was in the hospital for some of his array of ailments. And he was watching a Stars-Colorado playoff game. And I was there with him for a portion of that game. And, Allie, if you're a huge Stars fan as much as you say, you'll probably remember this. Marty Turco blew a game. Blew it. It was game 4, game 5. I think he went up to play the puck, gave it up. The Avalanche scored, and they lost the game. My dad was on the bed, jumping up and down, screaming at the TV. And he's got his IV in, and he's got his heart monitor on. And the nurse comes in to take his pulse, and you'll never guess who the nurse was. Mick Magoo's wife. The NHL referee, Angie, and she's like, she didn't really know who Dad was or what he did. So she's like, oh, my God, Mr. Pedersen's heart rate's at 190. What do we do? I said, just maybe give it 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And we'll walk it off, and you come back, and Dad'll be fine. And that's exactly what happened. So, yeah, his team lost thanks to Marty Turco. So there's my Marty Turco, Jim Pedersen story. Jason in Red Deer has written in. He did yesterday. He has done it again today. He says, I will be at the Rebels game with Connor Bedard on Saturday. Yeah, I remember. You were looking for a date because your wife didn't want to go. Can you not talk your wife into wanting to go? Connor Bedard is one of those generational players. I mean, maybe your wife's not a hockey fan, but I would think most people would want to say, I watched him in junior. Wouldn't they?
I think so. This is like, you're not a hockey fan, but, it's Wayne Gretzky coming to play hockey. I mean, I know who Wayne Gretzky is. I'm going to watch that game. You want to go watch Tom Brady, and you want to watch the greats play the game. And that transcends whether you're a fan or not. So, yeah, I think you can convince Connor or your wife to go watch Connor Bedard.
I want to get to some breaking CFL news in a moment, but the viewers are having some fun here today, and that's what we encourage. Having fun. Couple things. Going back to last hour, and I meant to ask you this and we ran out of time. Cody Fajardo, the Saskatchewan Roughriders quarterback, formerly of the Nevada Wolfpack, said if we make the playoffs, there's some teams that are going to be scared of us. I'm going to ask you who those teams might be. I think he was rhetorically speaking, and should they be scared of them? Our guy Kevin the Medium, wrote it and said the only teams scared of Cody Fajardo's the worst high school teams in Saskatchewan. That's from Kevin. He's a BC Lions fan. I didn't say it. Nelson Hakowicz, our VP of Sim Events, says, I went to a Ducks game once with Danny Bonaducci when I was in Anaheim. Nelson, you'll have to tell me the story. Was Danny Bonaducci playing for the Ducks? Was he in the facility? And how did you know it was Danny Bonaducci? And you don't even know who that is, Darren, formerly of the Partridge family. You don't even know who that is, and that's fine. You're not old enough. John Ohm in Winnipeg, and I don't have my gong down here, but John Ohm says, I'm going to the Jets game tonight with my pals Wheels and Dubois. He's talking about Blake Wheeler and Pierre-Luc Dubois. They'll be on the ice, and John Ohm will be up in the stands. I got a little intel on the Winnipeg Jets, by the way, and you're not going to like it, Winnipeg. If somebody wrote in here the other day from Winnipeg and said, do you think the Jets make the playoffs? And it's like, that is a hard no, bruh. And let me just say this. I'm not going to name who, but the players won. The players won. If you want to know why Paul Maurice is here in Florida, the players won. Are you picking up what I'm putting down, Moose?
Yeah. Things aren't going to change. That's what I'm gathering. Things aren't going to change.
The players won.
Yeah.
So Pomo's like, I'm out. And that is pretty damn scary if you're a Jets fan. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, you'd better build an ark, Rod. I know, right? 3 to 8 inches of rain. We've done this before, and my phone was going off this morning. Alan May. You remember the great Alan May?
Yes.
He's probably watching right now. The Washington Capitals TV analyst and longtime NHLer. He said, is this the first time that you've been dealt with a tropical storm? And I'm like, well, no. Remember that one in the spring, Moose, where I almost died? I said, no, Alan, I've had them before, but I still get scared. He's sitting over there in Frisco, Texas right now, just outside Dallas. We're a couple of prairie boys. He goes, whenever I hear a report of a tornado, I get scared. Well, yeah. But they assure me here that we're fine. As long as we still got power, and if we go, I've prepared you for this. If we lose power, you're taking over. But I think for now, I'm okay. But anyways, that breaking news from the CFL, let me get on track here, is that Jake Maris signed an extension. I'm sure his agent doesn't mind, do you? Agent, friend, he texted me. He was watching the show last hour on Game Plus Television, and he said, thanks for bringing up the Jake Maris extension. Great kid. And my mind, as soon as I read that Jake Maris signed a contract extension, and I think it's 3 years. I didn't read the full story at tsn.ca. I immediately thought about Bo. It's the first thing I thought about. So Calgary's got their guy locked down in Jake Mayer. He's the guy. There's no reason to think that he's not. Obviously, what does it mean for Bo? What's the first thing you thought?
Yeah, I thought, okay, they've locked him down. The security is totally there. So now they can trade Bo. Right now the security is there to trade him because we know we got our guy locked in. The last thing you want to do is trade Bo now and have Jake finish the season and then not come back next year, and then you are screwed. So they've got their guy locked down. Now Bo's expendable. That's kind of the way I look at it. We know that Jake's the future now. So it's just a matter of what happens with Bo next.
Jeff, the Stamps fan, says he signed through 2024. So what's that, 22 more years after this? Thank you. Phyllis in Winnipeg says, I'm going to the Jets game on Saturday. Howard Chuck statue unveiling. Going to be a good one, and the Jets will do fine. The boys are buying into the coach's approach. Different coaches, different culture. It's 1:11 Eastern, by the way, and I guess we're on the right track. I'm not sure if the Winnipeg Jets are on the right track. But you believe what you want to believe? How about that? I'll just say what I heard was the players won. Read that what you will, and I trust my sources. Ken Friedman, watching on YouTube, says, is the roof on the Jeep? The Jeep, Ken, and thanks for asking, is wrapped like it's double wrapped. I could send you a picture of it. I got stuff around that sucker. Hey, it ain't getting a drop in there for 3 or 4 days. Arlen Bruce III, AB3, CFL greats watching, and he says, did you hear about Mike Tyson? He said he would give $10 million to whomever marries his daughter. Should anyone jump on this, Rod? LOL? I did not hear that. Has that been in the news? I heard people make Mike Tyson jokes all the time, and this isn't a joke. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I did not either. I did not hear that. And I don't know what the caveat is. What are the conditions of this $10 million? You know,
is this bad?
I don't know his daughter.
First thing I thought was what she looked like.
No, hey, you're not wrong. You know,
Didn't we all?
Well, my first thought was, yeah, like, what's wrong with her? Why are you offering this? Why has this become so, like, what's the deal? Right? And
what if she
now
looks
I'm curious, and I'm probably going to read about it in the break.
$10 million is a lot of money. How long you got to stay married to her?
That's another question that came up. How long do we got to, do you got to stay with her? But then if something happens, you got a right hook from Tyson coming your way. So is that worth $10 million? I'm not sure.
Ask Bradley Cooper. Kevin the Medium wants to know why the Jeep isn't in the garage. I don't have a garage. Shouldn't you know that? He says, by the way, Jeff the Stamps fan says, whomever wants Bo, assuming he leaves, will trade for Bo's rights in December and January and make a deal before he becomes a free agent in mid-February. I don't agree. Whoever wants Bo will trade for Bo's rights in December and January and make a deal before he becomes a free agent in February. Why would you want to do that? You're assuming that there's no tampering going on in the CFL, which there always is, and now you have the legal tampering window anyways. What you'd like to do is trade for him now in advance of the CFL trade deadline, which is October the 5th, right? And listen, us sitting here being armchair general managers. There's going to be, Darren, another swing of the quarterback carousel in the CFL this offseason. Bo's contract's up. From what I understand, Cody Fajardo's contract's up. And from talking to the insiders, they think that Cody's done in Saskatchewan. They don't think that this season's going to be turned around, and they don't think that this relationship between he and the fans can be saved. And I don't even have an opinion on that. I just sit and listen. Remember what I said the other day? When I was with those, well, it was in my column. One of those guys I was with, he's probably watching right now because he said he's watching every day. He's like, I was with Tom Brady last week, and Tom said, da, 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 da. I'm like, that's why I got 2 ears and 1 mouth. I'll just listen. So when it comes to what the people are saying about the CFL quarterback carousel, I just don't like talking about it now because the best games and the most important games are left to be played this year. This is off-season stuff. But you can see why fans want to talk about it now, right? Do you think the teams are talking about it?
No, I don't. Maybe teams that are well outside the playoff picture might be looking ahead, but no. And to the comment on Calgary and the tampering window and all that stuff, I mean, you're just looking to get return for Bo. You don't want to lose Bo for nothing. The only way you're getting something back for Bo is if you trade him now. Teams aren't going to give you assets just to negotiate with him early. They can do that anyways. So, no, you won't. There won't be an off-season trade.
I'm going to read this from our viewer Phil watching on YouTube. He says, if that rumor of Tyson's daughter is true, why not? Can't be worse than Amber Heard.
Hot take. Spicy.
It's a teacup Yorkie.
Pooey. It was a teacup Yorkie.
Oh,
no. We'll be right back. On the way, thankfully not next, Claire Hanna from TSN Ottawa. It's the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, your favorite podcast platform, and of course on your home of Southern Sports and Talk, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
All right, we're back, and just before we bring the Moose back in, yes, South Florida is the place to be most days. Maybe not today, but so far so good, right? Before we bring the Moose in, we have in our news update, sports news update, which to us all it's the news, right? Veteran wide receiver Sterling Shepard tore the ACL in his left knee on the Giants' final offensive play in their loss to the Dallas Cowboys last night. Their head coach Brian Daboll said today. Daboll had indicated after the Monday Nighter that the injury to New York's leading receiver was serious. ACL injury to Sterling Shepard. From the CFL, we've all been talking about it. The Calgary Stampeders signed American quarterback Jake Maier to a contract extension through 2024 today. Mayer began the year as the backup to Bo Levi Mitchell, but became Calgary starter before its 39-29 loss to the Blue Bombers on August 25th. He's guided the Stampeders to victory in 3 of his 5 starts. Heading into Saturday's home game against Toronto, said Stamps president GM John Huffnagel in a statement, Jake's play has been very consistent, and for a young quarterback, he's been very efficient. Like any young player, he still has room for more improvement, but we believe he has a very bright future. Meanwhile, defensive back Maurice Carnell IV and quarterback McLeod Bethel-Thompson, along with Stamps quarterback Jake Mayer, were named CFL top performers today. Carnell IV earned top performer honors after registering 2 interceptions in Toronto's 45-15 road win at Ottawa. Mayer was named the top performer after completing 27 of 33 passes for 294 in the Stamps 25-11 win over the BC Lions. And Macbeth was the 3rd top performer after throwing for 245 yards and 3 touchdown passes in that win at Ottawa. This sports update for Ballers Rec Room, your official home of Slow Pitch, open Wednesday to Sunday. For the Tap, Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store, and for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. Okay, let's please bring the Moose back in. From the Sweatpants Capital, I see, if we have him, there he is. From our, I see producer Clark has put in the chat, tomorrow on the show, that's Wednesday, Justin Dunk of 3downnation.com and Miami Dolphins great turned broadcaster Aronde Gadsden. So thank you, Clark, for doing that. Thank you to my new South Florida friends for lining it up. Everything's just going tickety-boo. And Darren, just one more. BW in Edmonton says, I found another CFL podcast, Football North with Jock Wilson. Cool. I love when Jock is on the RP show. I love it too. Arash Madani just tweeted, Darren, with this extension to Jake Mayer, where does Bo Levi Mitchell play next year? He said Saskatchewan or, hang on, I don't know if you saw Twitter in the break or not, what Arash, he said Sask or Toronto. And I retweeted it and I said, I'm hearing Saskatchewan. I'm hearing Saskatchewan. Because Bo Levi Mitchell's clearly out. Everybody's saying he's going to finish the year in Calgary. And from what I'm hearing in the football community today, he does not want to retire. How do you feel if you're Cody Fajardo or, let's say, Macbeth in Toronto? Because they currently hold those jobs.
I feel worse if I'm Macbeth in Toronto, actually, Rod. Yeah? Because they're in first place, are they not? In the East? So here's it. Yeah. Like, they're in first place. At least in Saskatchewan, they're in a position where they might not make the playoffs. So if you're Cody, you at least have to understand that, look, if we didn't make the playoffs, there's going to be changes. I might need to play somewhere else next year, and on and on and on. But if you're Macbeth, it's like, what else do you want me to do here? We're in first place. My job should be secure. We're trying to win a Grey Cup here. And you're talking about replacing me right now. And so that would be a little bit of a harder pill to take than Saskatchewan. But, I don't know where he's going to end up, but there's going to be some suitors. We don't know how Hamilton's going to finish the season with Dane Evans, what that's going to look like, what Ottawa's going to do moving forward. So there are some different landing spots.
Very interesting comments from our viewers, the best in sports and entertainment. Dun, dun, dun. Nelson Hakowich, our VP of Sim Events, writes in and he says Justin Dunk was on Tim and Friends. That's on Sportsnet. You understand, to our American viewers, this is like hieroglyphics. It's like Greek. They're like, Tim and Friends? What? It's a show on Sportsnet. It's like this one. He says Dunk is leaning towards Saskatchewan for Cody Fajardo as well. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, I heard Hamilton wants him. B. Henderson, watching in Manitoba, regarding what we said about the Winnipeg Jets earlier. B. Henderson says, regarding the Jets, in Stastny's exit interview, he referred to a bad locker room. I don't think he was referring to Wheels or Scheif. I think he was referring to those who didn't want to be here. Trouba, Line, Kopp, and even PLD. I'm sorry to interrupt the CFL talk. And I think I might just close the book on talking about the Winnipeg Jets. Because, Darren, as I've said a lot of times, people don't want to hear the truth. And I'm tired of having my head cut off as the messenger. They don't want to hear that Mark Scheifele and Blake Wheeler are the problem with the Winnipeg Jets. They don't want to hear it. Have you noticed? It's everybody else. Keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing, Winnipeg. 902-518-3033. The number to text us, 902-518-3033. Todd Pinckney says, I heard the RP show wants Bo. Hey, we tried. Maybe he should have come on. And Allie in Texas says, regarding Tim and Friends, she says, but not as good a show as this one. Right, Rod? We're all great. It's not a competition. We're here for your entertainment and viewing pleasure. I know what you're saying. It's not a competition. Run your own race. Be the best you. That's what we're doing. And to get back on track, and I do want to talk NHL, and we will with Claire Hanna coming up because there's some big NHL preseason games tonight. But can I say this, Darren? I see how everything's fitting together. What did I say the other day? On this show and in the commentary, Cody Fajardo is going to be better for what he's going through now, being booed by the fans, and clearly he doesn't like it. I said it's not going to help him this year. It's going to help him wherever he is next.
Yeah.
So way to go, Rider fans. You run another quarterback out of town. So you're going to get Bo Levi Mitchell. I don't know how you feel about that. But see how the pieces are fitting together here. And if for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, it's not very good because Cody's going to go on to be fine somewhere. Your take.
Yeah, he is. We know that. He's a quarterback who's going through some adversity, and he's going to come out better on the other side. We've talked about that before. So somebody else is going to benefit from this. But you're already writing, the obituary on the Rough Riders season right now. And they're a team that's trying to get into the playoffs, and Cody's trying to get this team in here and say, look, we're going to be pretty dangerous if we get in, and teams are going to be scared of us. And I think that's because they feel they've got enough high-end talent throughout that locker room. And if everybody gets healthy and they get on the same page, that they could make a run. But if our mind is already gone and we're already looking at next season, there's no way you're going to get on the same page to take a run towards a Grey Cup. So if you want to be distracted and worry about the offseason, then let's worry about that and let's forget about this year. But if you want to win a Grey Cup, you're going to have to stop looking ahead.
I really appreciate the American viewers that came here for NHL Talk. And the fact that they've stayed tells me they can't get it anywhere else. And I appreciate that, including Allie in Texas. She says she may be partial to this show. And trust me, I get it. I'm all over the place. I understand that. Trying to straddle all these topics, of which we can speak on authority. But the guy B. Henderson in Manitoba wants to have a back and forth here on the Winnipeg Jets. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. I'm just repeating what I heard. And I believe it very well. But he goes, Wheeler lost the C because of the bad year the entire team had last year. This year is a new slate with a new coach. Is that what you think? Like, I'm kind of getting tired of the last couple of years, Darren. You've been with me on this show. I'm sitting there watching Flames games on TV going, Gaudreau looks like he's checked out to me. Kachuk looks like he's not that mature. And he looks like he's checked out to... No, Rod, you're an asshole. No, you don't know what you're talking about. Blah, 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 from Calgary fans. And then what happened, Darren? What did they admit? They didn't want to be there. I'm kind of getting tired of it. So you Jets fans, you believe whatever you want to believe. Nobody wants to hear the truth. I'm going to continue to sit here and say what I hear and what I believe, and you're all going to keep watching it, and you're going to keep enjoying it. But I'm not going to care anymore, and I'm not going to get in fights. That's the point. And by the way, to this Cody Fajardo thing, it's like Tua. I've talked with Cody only very sporadically via text and the odd DM. We're not close. Okay, we're friends, but we're not close. He's not going to come to me with his problems. I'm not going to go to him with his problems, with my problems. But I look at Tua. The last couple of years, he found out that they wanted to get Deshaun Watson here, and he was ticked off. He found out they want to get Tom Brady here, and he was ticked off. I'm sure that doesn't feel very good. But what has he gone out and done? Shoved it right down everybody's throat, sideways, and broke it off. Cody Fajardo could probably do that. I don't feel like he wants to. Not that, no, he wants to. I don't think he's going to. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm with you on that. I don't think that's going to be the case here. I think, he's more of a long-term kind of guy. And it reminds me of Roger Federer, actually. Roger, in all his retirement speeches and everything else, he said at one time somebody told him, Roger, you're too nice at the beginning of his career. You're too nice. You need to get angry. You need to be an asshole, right? And so he started and it didn't feel right. And then he didn't play well. And, you got to be meaner on the court. He did that. It just didn't feel right. It wasn't him. I think that speaks to Cody. He's not that kind of guy who's going to break it off and shove it down somebody's throat and really do it that way. He's going to take the long approach. So he's going to bite his tongue a little bit. He's going to be all in on the Riders, but then he's going to go somewhere else. And he's going to be extra motivated to have a great season and to play well and to show the people, this is what you could have had if you'd have been more appreciative. And you know what? I'm still going to go and try and be as great as I can be.
And he's going to do it so deliciously, and it's going to feel so great. But the thing is, here's me at my advanced age, which is 49, by the way. I don't care if people know. I see people Googling it. I see where Cody is. I've been there in my own career, and I want to help him. And he's like, no, I got it. I look at where Bo is and what he's going through. The older guys tried to help me. And you know what I said? Piss off, I got it. And the thing is, I didn't have it. Do you know what I mean? So now I get where those older guys were coming from. I get it. And I wish I'd listened then. But eventually I got it. I don't know if these guys are going to listen. Scott K on YouTube watching says, yep, the NHL talk is nice. Would love Carolina, Calgary, Stanley Cup. I said Calgary, Florida. Darren said Carolina, Colorado. The country song. Heads Carolina, tails Colorado. I don't know, that's not exactly it, but it sounds good. Somebody wrote in here and said, yes, Fajardo is done in Sask. And I don't know where we really got him going now. Oh, it's Ken Friedman. He says the Rough Riders are done. Winnipeg will beat them at home on Friday, and Hamilton will beat them at home October 7th. Then Hamilton plays Ottawa twice. I think Hamilton will make the playoffs. Can you imagine if they miss the playoffs in a season that they're hosting the Grey Cup? Anyways, Moose, I'll see you back for overtime, okay?
Okay, see you then.
What a day. We're going to Ottawa next. It's the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network. We're live streaming on YouTube, 24-hour sports radio, rodpeterson.com, your favorite podcast platform, and on your home of Southern Sports and Talk in Metro Atlanta, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casino fancy.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
The RP Show continues on a Tuesday, episode number 850 of your favorite daytime sports and entertainment talk show. We're heading to the nation's capital now. Very excited about this. We can do good news. We can do bad news. We'll start with the good news with TSN Ottawa's Claire Hanna, a good and longtime friend of ours. And actually, hey, Claire, nice to see your smiling face. Before we talk about the current and your coverage of the Sens and the Redblacks, hey, what do you think about what's going on in SAS? Because you're still doing the CFL sidelines there with Cody and the 6-8 record. Oh my God! Could you see this coming?
I definitely couldn't see it coming. No, I thought they were going to be pretty good. I didn't realize that their offensive line was just going to have so many issues. And I mean, Cody loves to run. He loves to use his feet. And sometimes I'm wondering if I'm to do a bit too much, but yeah, I feel for the Rider fans. I felt like they were really trying to build towards this year as they're hosting the Grey Cup. And so it's unfortunate, but hey, I mean, these are the cycles of the CFL. I don't think I would have expected the Redblacks to be in this position where they're at either with Jeremiah Masoli this year. But hey, that's the CFL.
Yes, unpredictable. That's why we love it, obviously. So let's start with the good news. Where would you rate, on a scale of 1 to 10, the optimism factor of the Ottawa Senators as we approach this regular season?
Can I say 15? It might be a bit too high.
Yeah. How about that?
That might be a bit high. No, oh man. Okay, so when I got here last year, I'm going to say there was optimism because of the fact that it was a new year and maybe some of these young prodigies were going to be finally coming into their own. But at the end of the year, it was like a 4 out of 10. Right now, I'm going to say 8.5 out of 10. There is a totally different vibe in Ottawa. People are so excited for on opening night. And I mean, even the moves that GM Pierre Dorian did over the summer were unreal. Bringing in DeBrincat, bringing in Claude Giroux, bringing in Cam Talbot, bringing it like it's pretty awesome. And I think right now people are really curious about Jake Sanderson, the defenseman. He's they don't want to put a lot of pressure on him, but they're probably going to be putting him on a top 4 D pairing with Travis Hamonic. So they're counting on him, even though he's unproven in the NHL. But I know that Ottawa is a buzz for this team in C playoffs. Like they're like, can we make it? Are we going to be playing meaningful games at the end of the year? Nobody wants that dismal November again, like we saw last year. So I think there's a lot of hope and promise with this team right now, Rod.
Well, I hope the expectations aren't too high because I don't like to see them burst, but I hope for their sake that it does happen. And Matthew Barnaby was with us last hour, and I wonder if you would attest to this or not. He golfed with Pierre Dorion and DJ Smith, and he couldn't believe the culture and how together they're all on the same page. So there seems to be a lot of positivity emanating from the sentence, and that goes a long way, as you know.
Yeah, and even last year, Rod, despite their record, I still think it was pretty positive attitude right until the end. So many things were out of their control. They were the first team that was really hit hard by COVID, but that was still when the NHL wasn't allowing them to postpone games. So at some points, it was like there was almost no AHL team for them to pull from anymore because they pulled so many guys up. And so I don't know how much blame you can put on just the fact that guys got COVID and got sick. And then they had a second bout of it in January, February. They had injuries all season, starting with Shane Pinto. And then it was Colin White. And it just kept going and going. And so when you can't properly evaluate, it sucks, but it's also not a good indicator on the talent level. So there was always optimism and also an opportunity to get some young guys in the AHL, mostly defensemen. I think about Lassie Thompson, Jacob Bernard-Docker. They got solid opportunities up in the NHL. So this year, it's not like it's going to be, holy crap, like shell shocked. This is new for me. They're going to have had a taste of the NHL. So, you got to look at some of the negatives, made opportunities.
Yeah. So to the CFL, it seems like every time I turn on the TV, the Redblacks are at home, and it seems like every time they're losing. And I see the fans, they're like ready to jump off buildings, man. What is it like there? What's going on with the Redblacks and CFL in Ottawa?
Okay, well, pump the brakes. I don't think the fans they're disappointed, but I just want to talk about the fact that these games are so well attended. Given that there was only one home win last year and there still hasn't been a home win this year. It's unbelievable, Rod. I look at some other places in the country where teams are doing well and I'm like, okay, and there's no fans there. Yet the Redblacks fans just continue to support their team, which will always bode well for a market. But it's just for them, it's been a carousel of the quarterbacks. And you can't, when you can't have a guy in there consistently running an offense and gelling with his teammates, you can't get anywhere. And what was striking to me, so they were hosting the Toronto Argonauts this past weekend, and I'm talking to McLeod Bethel-Thompson on the day before the game, just talking about what's led to his success, because his numbers right now, besides Zach Collaros, he's kind of like one of the most consistent guys in the CFL. And we can't count Nathan Rourke. He's injured. But I was like, what's been so key for you? And he's like, this is really the second year I've been in this offense. And at this point in the season, we're all on the same page. Receivers know where I'm throwing. We all have good chemistry. We've gelled. And then I'm like, and look at the Redblacks. So Jeremiah Masoli, 4 games. Caleb Evans, 4 games. Nick Arbuckle just started his 4th game. Like you cannot build an offense when you have, that much inconsistency with the leader. I mean, yeah, Jake Mayer, he's done it in Calgary with Bo Levi Mitchell now, being pushed to the side. But Jake Mayer was also in this, in the Calgary Stampeders offense last year, getting a lot of reps. So it's unfortunate, but yeah, it's not looking too good for the Redblacks right now.
Oh, Jenna is watching in Southern California. She says, Redblacks are still my CFL team. So that's kind of what Claire is talking about. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, well attended. Maybe I'm wrong, but TD Place looked pretty empty to me last weekend. Everybody gets up and parties. The games are terrible. Like they set them up, but they go drink in the end zones and party. Trust me, I've been there. It's It's wild, which I'll talk about later.
It was well attended. I was there, and I, you know what? It was a little thinner than their home opener, for example. But I remember looking around because I was like, what's it going to be like? Totally well attended, very well attended.
I remember when the Redblacks came into the league. My mom, huge CFL fan, she's like, why are they giving them another team? They folded teams twice. I'm like, Mom, it's not Ottawa's fault. It's a great CFL market. The teams have just been terrible. Can't blame them. But anyways, we only got a couple minutes left. Speaking of that, I had to go to Ottawa to see that to get it. What have you learned about Ottawa in your time there that you didn't know, or what you find particularly cool?
I will say they have really passionate sports fans. And, you can sort of, you hear rumors when you're not living in a city, but you can't really feel it until you're there. And I've been so impressed by Redblacks fans. First of all, I have lots of friends who consistently go to games no matter what. And I'm like, really, does the record matter? They're like, no, we just enjoy football. We really like going. So that impressed me. And I always knew Senator games weren't well attended, but they have a very passionate fan base. And I see that, for example, in the community or on Twitter. There are people talking about the Senators all the time. Maybe they don't want to purchase a ticket to actually attend the game, but holy moly, do they know the ins and outs of the Senators. And that really surprised me. And that makes me happy because when I'm doing my reports or, giving information over social media, I always feel a lot of engagement. And it might seem like there's not a lot of people at the games, but they care. And so those two things surprised me in the most positive way.
Are you sick of the drive out there yet?
You know what? I actually chose where I lived in Ottawa very, very strategically. I'm right in the middle of TD Place and Canadian Tire Center. So I wouldn't have to, make a big drive out. I'm definitely a little closer, I'd say, to CTC. But hey, I've got good podcasts. I usually listen to the guys on TSN 1200 while I drive in. And my gas bills, Rod, a little higher than normal, especially with prices. I searched out buses because I would love to just like sit back, chill on a bus, like be able to look over my notes, but it's like an hour and 20 minutes with transfers and stuff. And the drive out's about 20 minutes. So it's not that bad. I really miss living right across from Mosaic Stadium in Regina. I could walk there if I wanted to.
Yeah, well, yes, there's parts about that are interesting too. Claire, it's great to see that you're having such a great time and you're doing so well. So thanks for the time. And if you can fit us in again, I'd love to. Thank you.
Awesome seeing you, Rod. Thanks for having me as always.
You bet. Thank you. TSN Ottawa's Claire Hanna. Overtime's next. The Moose will rejoin us. Man, do we have a lot to talk about. It's the RP show on Game Plus TV, available all across Ontario on Rogers and Cogeco Cable. Also your favorite podcast platform and WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Golf, Hawaii, and the Four Seasons. Imagine picking up your clubs and feeling like a pro for one whole week in paradise. Well, you can get that chance this December with 5-star accommodations, a 3-day tournament at a championship course, and loads of VIP experiences. The Pro Leisure Golf Tour is going to make you feel like a pro, even if your golf game doesn't. I'm Arash Madani, and I want to invite you to join the PLGT in Ko'olina, Hawaii for 1 week this December. It includes 7 days, 6 nights accommodations at the luxury oceanfront Four Seasons Ko'olina and a 3-round golf tournament at the Ko'olina Golf Club. And that's only the beginning. Away from the links, there are VIP experiences, Top Chef-inspired meals, a luau, sunset cruises, and much more. So whether you're looking to grab your golfing buddies for a tropical getaway, treat your partner to a paradise escape this winter, or just wanting to find an exclusive VIP experience to take part in, the PLGT is perfect for you.
snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy. Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Welcome back, everybody. That, by the way, is nowhere close to where I am because you're going to see a torrential downpour over my shoulder here. Overtime is brought to you by the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home of the UFC and the National Football League. Let's bring the Moose in for this final segment. Moose is going to be very entertaining. If you've watched much of this show, you've been on a lot of it, and I appreciate that. It's been very entertaining. We've got the Jake Mayer extension news in Calgary, the Bo Levi leaving Calgary. Sounds like Sask's story. A lot of NHL talk. Little something for everybody here. And junior hockey, too, which, frankly, I could talk about for 2 hours all day, every day. It just doesn't pay the bills. So we talk about it as much as we can. There are other things that we have to talk about. So from our viewers, Dougal Cameron in Calgary, you've met him. Big Stamps fan, came down to Grey Eagle when we were there. He says, I just looked at the Stampeders coaching staff list. All the positions have longtime guys there right now. Unless he wants to sell cars, Bo's days in Calgary are done. Just putting that, I can't. And I'm not even a Bo fan, obviously. Why would I be? But who saw this coming? From Jeff. I say this to Jeff Caldwell in Redmond, Oregon. I say this with as much respect as possible, Darren. He says, I'm disappointed the Pats are not scheduled to play in the United States this season because everybody wants to see Connor Bedard. When I say respectfully, it's get in your car and drive to BC. And I love Jeff Caldwell because he watches all the time. I'm just saying, the fans now really are, come to me. And it's just not going to happen. Do you have a point on that before we move on?
No, it's not going to happen. I mean, that's too bad, but it's a junior hockey finances thing that's not changing.
Did we lose him?
Yeah.
Is that me?
Make the drive up. Did we lose Rod? There he is.
Okay, sorry. I'm going to roll on like nothing ever happened. So, from our viewers, we're talking about the Redblacks games. And Jeff, the Stamps fan, said, didn't look like there was many people there to me. And Claire and I agreed, no, they get out of their seats and they go party in Ottawa. Clearly the games aren't that good. Ken Friedman says, I'm an Argos fan. I went to their last 2 games in Ottawa. It is very much a social / get-together with friends event in Ottawa, which helps. Rod is correct. People hang out big time in the concourse. Can you put that on my tombstone, Moose? Rod is correct. Don, our Navy friend, says, I was at the last 2 Redblacks games. There are hundreds of fans in the concourse partying and having fun, not watching the game, but they're having fun. This has really got Ottawa viewers chiming in a lot. And Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, I personally don't understand why you would go to a CFL game just to get up and socialize. I stay in my seat and watch the game. The CFL has run into the problem that junior hockey has run into for years. You got the older, not that Jeff's old, but he's been obviously a fan for a long time. They want to go to the game, watch the game, turn the music down. And the teams want the young people and they want to party. Like, I said to Serena, I'm not going to a Dolphins game again all year. Sorry, unless I can be in a suite, I'm not going to a Dolphins game all year. Because those guys, my guys that I was with on the weekend, they're like, where'd you park? I'm like, 1.3 miles away. I have it on my phone. I said, where'd you guys park? They said, right beside the stadium. Yeah, of course you did. But everybody's getting drunk. There were fights. They weren't watching the game. They weren't. It was a party. That's the National Football League. That's what the CFL should want to create. That's what they do want to create. But people like Jeff, the Stamps fan, whom I adore because he watches here every day, they don't want that. What's the answer, Darren? What is the answer?
Well, and that's the thing. Everybody wants something different, right? And you understand it's all in an effort to draw more fans out and make more money. I don't really know that there is an answer. You know, if you want everybody to sit down and shut, if that's how, but going to the question of like, you know, I sit in my seats and that's the best thing to do for you. So enjoy the seats, enjoy the extra room, and let other people enjoy the concourse. Guess what? We can both enjoy the same things at different times, like this different things, at the same time.
I'm learning so much. So they want the younger fans, but the younger fans don't have the money to pay the ticket prices have gone. I'm learning so much down here because I look at these U.S. sporting events going, why are you spending so much money? You can't possibly have that amount of money. But you know how I am with my money, Darren. I'm cheap. I work very hard to get it. I'm not going to throw it away or spend it frivolously. Last minute of play in the RP show. But everywhere, they're spending money they don't have, buying tickets on their credit cards to go have a blast, and who the hell am I to tell them not to? But I don't know the answer. The NFL is a party, and more than any other league. And some like it, some don't. It reminds me of those guys I was on the boat with on Saturday. Our captain cranked the tunes. One of the guys leaned over and said, can you turn that down? Does that surprise you, Moose?
No.
Probably not.
Not at all.
You saw the photos. Yeah. They're like, we came out here to chat football. Hey, everybody's having a great time. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks to Barney and Claire. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Moose, you have a great 22 hours.
You too, Rod.
Rest of you, we'll see you at noon Eastern here on Game Plus. Who has more fun than us?
Approved. Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. Hi. How about that? Make it.